Right, you want to do an introduction, mate? Just say any old thing, and we'll go.
Like, I'm coming. That's what I've heard on the last TV for the last 10 minutes. It's just, I'm coming.
Hey, I was playing Dragon Ball, not watching anything dirty.
Judging by our analytics, I'm guessing the majority of people watching this video have played or at least know of Red Dead Redemption.
Yes, but for the people who haven't, we should probably explain, the game. And basically, you take control of a big-dicked outlaw called Arthur Morgan, and you go around the Wild West with your multi-ethnic gang of ne'er-do-wells, shooting people in the dick and exploring a giant, sprawling world populated with NPCs with offensively unshot dicks. But I should probably point out that when I play that game, I only shoot people in the dick. Because in Red Dead, you can go into Deadeye mode, where you get to mark targets, and there's nothing more satisfying. You go into Deadeye mode, and you have 6 people in front of you, and then 1 second later, all 6 have been shot in the dick and kneecaps. It's because you know what? That's a legend that travels around the Wild West pretty fucking quick. The legend of my version of Arthur Morgan spread around that fucking world like a wildfire. Because you remember the tales of a guy who walked into town, bought 400 cans of beans, shot 3 people in the dick, and then left on a jet black horse that he was doing donuts on outside. You can do horse donuts in this thing. It's basically the horses are the cars of this game. And you can get you can do skids and stuff on them, but it gets to the point where if you get maximum control over a fast horse, you literally just do power slides. It's you ready? It's type of Wild West drift. Just woohoo! It's horse drifting, man. It can't be stopped. How do you defeat an outlaw who can drift a horse? Arthur Morgan is a big dick G, but you have to give props to his protege, the guy from the previous game, the guy who set up and laid the groundwork for Red Dead Redemption 2, John fucking Marston. He's such a nice guy, but when I play him, it's some people are going to get shot in the dick. So that's the thing. I'm a nice guy, but you are going to get shot in the dick. It's happening, whether you want to or not. And as well, probably the greatest last stand in a video game belongs to John Marston, where he faces down 40 fucking soldiers on his own, and you go into one last Deadeye, and you get the opportunity to shoot as many as you can, and you can never win. But guess how many of those people got shot in the balls, Brad? Fucking as many as John Marston could take down with him. Because that's a last stand that, again, gets told across the Wild West for all time. Did you hear about John Marston? Yeah, it sucks that, doesn't it? It's but I did hear he went down swinging. So yeah, you can say that. So what do you mean? Well, do you not hear what he did? So I just heard he took out 6 people in his way. No, he didn't take them out. He took out their generations. They're still walking around, but they're not siring anymore. He didn't go for the kill. He went for just eradicate the bloodline in one fell swoop. Keeping it in the realm of video games, something that sent my sides into orbit and I will remember until the day I die, is a friend of mine just got Grand Theft Auto, and I was watching him play it, and he got to the part of the game where you can go on the helicopter tours.
Yeah.
And he got in, and he pressed the button to go onto the tour, and we touring the city, and it's just a 5-minute cutscene of you just going around the city as a guy explains everything to you. And my friend was like, "This is kind of cool, but how do you think you skip it?" And I just went, "Try Y." And Y, or triangle, is how you get in and out of vehicles. And he pressed it, and just without any sort of prompting, Nico Bellic just threw himself from the helicopter. And so my friend just turned to me and looked at me like I'd shat on his cereal. I'd be a great dad. I look after kids so well in The Sims.
The Sims?
The Sims? The Sims is hard. Have you tried looking after kids in The Sims? Right, what I did once, and this is a cool thing you can do, if you boot up a copy of The Sims 1, you can't do this in any other Sims game, you can make a family consisting of just one child.
No parent?
Nope, it's the only game that lets you do it. So what I decided to do is I made Kevin McAllister from Home Alone. And I put that little fucker in a house. And you know what? Let's see how realistic Home Alone was. I was going to be a good dad to him though. I thought, I will be a good, benevolent, floating sky god dad. And I made sure he had everything he needed. I put him a TV outside so he could get fresh air as he was watching TV. I bought him a goldfish to teach him responsibility. And do you know what he did? He painted. So I bought a forest. A fucking forest, and put it outside next to the easel. Do you know what he painted? A little stick figure next to a house. Little shit, he will paint you for 6 fucking hours and painted that. So I sent him to school. I kind of felt bad about like selling his painting to pay for his food because that's the only way kids in Sims can make money. So I bought him 18 teddy bears when he got in. Do you know what he did? Walked straight past him. So what I did is that I decided I'll buy him a tiger skin rug because he was bawling. He was scared of it. He wouldn't get out of bed. I put it on his floor when he was asleep. He woke up and wouldn't get out of bed. He spent about 14 hours screaming at this tiger rug. I wasn't going to give up. I've got all day. I can fast forward time. He can't. He missed the day of school because of that. Sent him to school the next day. He got in knackered, pissed himself on the floor, and started mopping it up. Because what I did is I made him a neat freak. And he was up at midnight mopping up piss. But the problem was, my neighbours own about 30 fucking cats. So every time he mopped up piss, another cat would come and piss on his lawn. You know how happy I made him in his little house. I bought him teddy bears, I bought him rugs, I bought him food, I sold windows to buy pizza. He'd go outside, and because there was about 40 different puddles of cat piss, he'd go to school sad. I put the move animals thing on so you could pick up things, and I deleted every neighbour's cat. I did that for my son. I trapped my neighbours in little boxes because they wouldn't stop annoying him when he was trying to eat his pizza. And you have the cheeks call me a fucking bad dad? No, I'm a good dad.
Out of interest, were you drunk?
Yes. I think the most satisfying thing I ever did in Metal Gear Solid 3 is the end. You know, the sniper who shoots you. I got so pissed off with his fucking parrot because it mocks you every time you can't kill him. So I caught it alive, snuck up behind the end, held him up, walked in front of him and ate it.
Holy shit.
So you can eat animal. Yeah. Nothing really happens when you do it, but I know that I did it. You even get a call from paramedics saying, "Oh, it's such a cute little bird, don't you dare eat it."
Snake.
What?
Don't even think about it. Eating a cute little bird like that.
But I didn't say.
Just don't.
I'm gonna fucking eat this bird. And what's more, I'm gonna eat it from that old fucking man. Because I don't know if people watching know this, but chances are, before you even started watching these videos, if you never read a single one of my articles, you probably know who I am, because I'm the drunk Skyrim guy. If that tickles something in the back of your head right here, it's probably because you've seen one of these images. That's from a drunken Skyrim session I did when I lived with Brad, in fact, about 3 years ago, was it?
About 3 years, yeah.
I got super hammered and you came in from work and found me drunk tweeting a Skyrim play session when I was trying to carry a cabbage up a mountain. So I did that, and for some reason people found it fucking hilarious. I put it on Tumblr, and then from Tumblr someone took it from there. I didn't do it, someone else did. Put it on Imgur, and then it went on to Reddit, and then when it's on Reddit, it goes to every other website, 9gag, with their watermark on it for some reason, and just republish that entire exchange, and periodically every couple of months it comes back. So that's the second most popular thing I've ever written. And I've been writing for 5 years and got articles with millions of views. I think Will Wheaton reblogged it twice. And I tweeted at him and said, "Oh wow, I did that." And he tweeted back saying it's one of the funniest things I've ever read. So Will Wheaton thinks I'm one of the funniest guys he's ever read something written by on the internet, which is, I guess, a great compliment. So chances are you've seen those images. And if you haven't, you've probably seen this one. Because this is the second time this has happened to me. And Brad knows this, it pisses me off. Because you're going to post the original version, which was my Facebook post, which was a joke from my stand-up that I put on Facebook and then put on Twitter. Someone blurred my face out, put it on Reddit, and it went viral. And I've never got credit for that, ever. This thing got so popular that people were sharing it on my Facebook timeline as something I would find funny. And this is true. I saw a page on Facebook share the blurred version, and when I commented on it saying, "Oh cool, that's me, here's a link to the actual version so I can get credit," the person in charge of that page sent me a message saying, "We don't allow self-promotion on our page." On a page that they built up stealing other people's content.
The funniest response I always see to it in the comments as well is, "You can't do that on Rollercoaster Tycoon."
Yeah, and do you know what? Right, let's address that right fucking now. I know that you can't do this in Rollercoaster Tycoon. And the problem is, I've tried to explain this so many times. If this had my face on it, I could have explained it in one go and everyone would know. Instead, I get periodically people telling me, "I know it's not something you can do in Rollercoaster Tycoon." Years ago when I wrote that, I was still doing stand-up comedy. I wrote that as a thing I would say on stage, perhaps set on video games. And my thinking was, it doesn't necessarily matter that it's not something you can do in the game, as long as people are familiar enough with the concepts of the game, where it seems in their head like something you could do. Which evidently, given how many times it's been shared, people do find it funny, even though it's not something you do in the game. I'm going to share something now that might shock a lot of people. Like comedians, sometimes they lie, or they embellish the truth, or massage reality to make it fit a narrative. And that's what I was doing with that joke. And the problem is, because it got shared so widely, I had to cut it from my stand-up routine. And this is, again, fucking true. I tried to tell that joke at a stand-up set a couple of weeks later, and someone yelled at me, "You stole it off the internet." And I tried to tell them, well, actually, no, I wrote it. And they just went, "No, you didn't." And that set, I fucking bombed that entire set. Because obviously when I tried to tell my next joke, that guy was just heckling me the entire time. And I never did stand-up again after that, so it's not fucking worth it. Which is the funniest joke I've ever written. I'll never get any credit for it.
How many hours have you actually clocked in Halo?
Too many. In Halo 3 specifically, a lot. I played it in university. We can actually look it up because if I recall correctly, Bungie.net has your total career stats. I'm not going to tell you what my gamer tag is because that's kind of embarrassing because I was 16 when I made it. But Brad, my total number of kills in Halo was 19,223. So I'm hoping that that kind of sums up how many games I played. Let's point out that that's just my kills in Social Slayer, which is basically just like grab bag against everybody. My ranked kills are 7,600. So I killed about 26,000 people in Halo 3. I also played 1,566 games of Social and 768 games of ranked, so about 2,000 games of Halo. I killed 21% of all enemy players with my bare hands, which totals 3,000 kills. Oh my god, I reached rank 35.
Is that good?
No, I was not very good at. My overall kill death ratio was 0.92 in ranked and 1.08 in social, so about 1-to-1. So for every time I died, I took someone with me.
Is that good?
I guess it's okay. Oh god, this is all so embarrassing. Oh no.
Is it as embarrassing as the name though?
The name's the most embarrassing bit.
Go on, tell everybody the name.
Darkest Dragoon. Oh well, we'll point out that Xbox 360 picked that name for me, and I was just fine with it happening.
Darkest Dragoon?
Hey, it's just what it picked from.
Did you try and write Darkest Dragon? It said it was already taken.
Yeah. No, it gave, like, in Xbox 360, people better tell you this, it did give you, like, random names. Another one I did is I tried to make Bear Grylls in The Sims 1. So what I did is I made a guy, called him Bear Grylls, and gave him all the tools he needed to survive. So I gave him everything he needed to survive and thought, let's just see how long he'll survive on his own. And just left him in the house. He literally lasted 3 days before he burnt himself to death. So I tried to do is like I made this whole thing out. I think, yeah, he's gonna survive for weeks, and I'm gonna be able to make an entire thing out of this. I think I'll record it on Twitter, and I'll send you the link so you can put the pictures behind me. And no, he just died in literally like 3 days.
Did you try and make salad?
He tried to make something and burnt his house down. Some of the things in The Sims always used to piss me off like that. Like if you didn't pay your bills, they'd send the repo man round who'd automatically repossess the most expensive item you owned. So what I used to do to get around that is I'd delete my TV. So when he came round, I'd delete all my TV. And I remember once they did it, and they, like, the repo man, because I had nothing you could take. He just took, like, a big patch of carpet. It's like, that is a committed repossession, man. Oh, my God. What a good game. I never played Sims 2 or 3. Sims 1 was always the one that cracked me up the most, because it's the one where you can just do the most bullshit.
There's so many expansions for it as well.
There was, but I always preferred playing regular Sims. Just regular Sims 1 and putting the move cheat on, so you could, like, when you saw the school bus arrive, you could just park in your back garden. Because, yeah.
My bus now.
My bus. My kid's not going to school. I still, to this day, get messages from people saying, okay, so what's your real name? It can't be Karl. No, I'd legitimately go by Karl Smallwood, because it sounds stupid enough where it could be a pseudonym. But the thing is, the more and more success we have, the stupider my name feels, because it's a real name. And I was now thinking, if I was ever, like, if I go to a con or something like that, and they say, oh, yeah, like, Markiplier, PewDiePie, is like, oh yeah, and it's Karl Smallwood. I'm like such a fucking square. I don't think I'm on the same level as those guys. They're just the only two I can...
Excuse me, you're in the fighting game with them.
No, that's why I'm mentioning it. You know what? Fuck it. Let's give this guy some credit because I respect the hustle so deeply. So, if people don't know, because I guess like no one else is going to mention this, some hero, some legendary Big Dick Donger has gone out and made a fighting game. And what's it called? It's called YouTube Stupor or something.
YouTube.
And he's put in some famous YouTubers, including PewDiePie, Markiplier, Ninja Sex Party.
Matt Pat's in there.
Matt Pat's in there. And for some reason, me. For no reason, just me. And I respect the hustle so deeply because like the guy didn't even ask me for my permission. He's like, you know what? I'm just going to jack your likeness and the logo of your channel and put it in. None of these the bigger guys, they've got millions. They're not going to listen to this, but I can. So I'm going to give him a shout out right now. Brad's going to put the trailer in with my cameo. I find it so hilarious because this guy's like, oh yeah, who do I get to sum up YouTube? And he picks these like 6 names that are synonymous with a platform and me, some dipshit who makes fact videos. And I love the idea. It's like going to Mount Rushmore and just carving my name in the bottom. You got like fucking PewDiePie, Markiplier, Matt Pat and Ninja Sex Pie. And it's me like, I'm here too, guys. And none of them know who the fuck I am. So I want to put that game out there. I want like PewDiePie to play it on his channel.
You're like, who the fuck is this?
Fuck's this? that would be my dream. My dream would be one of those huge ass guys playing it and going, who the fuck is Karl Smallwood?
Someone said, do you beat them with your big wanger? Imagine if that got put into the game and PewDiePie loaded it up and was like, who's this guy called Karl Smallwood who's beating me with a giant dong? Your special move is just you flap out this huge wooden dong and start beating him with it.
To the guy who made it, you win. I'm not going to ask you to take it down. It's too funny. I laughed too hard when you made it. You get this one. Oh.
I'll open with the Fiora Lily maneuver.
Pretty easy, pretty standard. I'll counter that move. They're simply named Faini Saeed Aramenthi. I can't say it.
Ah, that famous move. But were you expecting this?
Ah, the Noah Benden.
And I assume you'll counter with the coffee soap?
Damn right.
Perhaps a Sloane Rockefeller.
You forget, I can get you out with the Eric Toledo.
Oh.
What's that noise?
I don't know. I remember this particular move being made famous by Johnson Ellis.
Tricky. Or is it when I come in with my Andy Ruffle?
Ooh, clever.
Don't you dare try that Nesta Ailman.
I tried it.
I saw this counter move performed by Denny Speaks, so watch out.
Ooh. He's still going ooh after everyone. Many centuries ago, when chess was first invented, one move was outlawed, and it is known as the J-Grid.
That's illegal.
Not in this game.
Or if that's how we're going to play it. I'm bringing the Aaron Clausen.
Well, I'll counter with the Sam Bartram.
Whoa, Bubba P, you! Got you stuck now, innit?
I think the only thing I can do is the ZX Anomaly.
There's only one thing for that. Yeah, Matt Gilbert.
I haven't seen that one since Nick's performed it in the final.
Seeing as you're quite knowledgeable of all these illegal moves. Well, seeing as you're quite knowledgeable of all these illegal moves, I'm sure you recognise this one.
Is that the Chipisa Matawere?
Yes!
Well, prepare. The Daft Turkey 28.
I'm gonna fuck you up with my Cow Tessa move. Yeah, beat that. Bring it.
I can easily beat that. With the Duke Nooglies.
Well, it looks like I'm gonna have to bring in the ultimate legend that is the Michelle Holman.
Jesus. Guess there's nothing for it. This is the one that Kim Geisler taught me.
But it looks like I have no choice but to bring out the Brina Lawless.
You've fallen right into my trap. Because now, if I perform the Rael E. Walters, it's victory for me! What you just witnessed was
Chaos.
Chaos. No, this is what we do for our patrons. We try to find funny ways to read out the names that we get in the shout out here. So if you would like, my head looks so massive on this side of the screen. If you'd like your name to be read out in whatever manner we decide next time, then sign up for the VIP tier.
I'm trying to think, how can we top this?
We'll find a way.
Or did we already peak at the start?
Peek it out.
Yes, thank you, patrons.
Boop.